At the family barbecue, my 5-year-old son helped set the table and made handmade cards for everyone. We got the group photo later. He'd been cropped out of every frame. He stared at the screen, whispering, "Was I bad?" I didn't cry. I did this stuff the next morning. Mom opened her framed gift and dropped it. My name is Mark. I'm 34, the eldest kid, the one who remembers everyone's Wi-Fi password and shows up with jumper cables. I work IT support at a hospital. I wear the same black hoodie to every family thing because it has a big pocket for snacks and loose screws. I'm a single dad to my 5-year-old son, Jamie, who believes napkins are capes and that forks can be microphones. In my family, I'm reliable, which is code for he'll fix it and probably pay for it. If something breaks, I get the call. If a bill is late, I get the text. When people say we're all in this together, what they mean is Mark's got it. I learned to say yes before I learned to say my own limits out loud. Saturday was the barbecue at my parents' place. Dad had the grill smoking like a signal flare. Mom had a table stretched with a floral cloth she won't let anyone wash because it's vintage and also because she wants compliments. My sister, Carla, breezed in late with sunglasses and an empty pie tin. My younger brother, Leo, arrived with a speaker and a six-pack he immediately placed in the freezer because he likes it frosty. I brought hamburger buns, mustard, and a tote packed by Jamie. Crayons, stickers, and handmade cards for everyone. He'd drawn stick people with giant smiles and spiky hair. He wrote each name himself in that wobbly kindergarten way. "Grandma," he said, placing a card at Mom's seat. "This is you. Your hair is happy." Mom smiled without really looking. "That's nice, Jamie." She kept stirring potato salad like the spoon had more feelings than my kid. We set the table together. Jamie carried forks 2 at a time, tongue out, concentrating. "Helpers get promoted," he told me. "I want to be fork manager." "You're hired," I said. He saluted with a fork and clanked it on a plate by accident. Everyone flinched like he had set off an alarm. Leo shouted, "Group photo," because Leo always needs an audience. He lined us up by the lilac hedge. "Okay, pretty people in front," he joked, pointing Carla to the middle. "Mom, chin up. Dad, suck it in. Mark, lift the little guy." I hoisted Jamie onto my hip. He wrapped his arms around my neck and whispered, "I'm tall now." Leo held his phone up, squinted, and clicked 3 in a row. "Perfect," he said, already tapping away. We ate. Dad told the story about the time he almost met a famous quarterback. Carla complained about traffic like it hurt her personally. Mom passed out paper plates and judgments in equal amounts. I kept an eye on Jamie, who fed a chip to the neighbor's dog and then apologized to the chip. When the food lull hit and everyone was scrolling, Leo posted the photos to the family group chat. Caption, "We cute." I opened them to show Jamie how big he looked. There we were, Mom, Dad, Carla in the center, me to the side. The place where Jamie had been was empty. On the edge, a small elbow ghosted in like a mistake. Next photo, tighter crop, cleaner edges. Third, same. For adults. No kid. I thought maybe Leo uploaded the wrong ones, the ones he had adjusted for his Instagram grid. "Hey," I said, walking back to the patio. "Did you send the originals?" Leo didn't look up. "Dude, I edited for symmetry." Carla glanced and shrugged. "The centered ones look better." "No offense." Jamie tugged my sleeve. "Daddy," he whispered, "where am I?" I tilted the screen so only he could see. He stared at the blank air where he should have been. His voice went small. "Was I bad?" It landed like a nail through wood. My throat did that hot, tight thing. I forced a smile. "You were perfect. They just messed up." Mom called from the sink. "Mark, don't make a thing out of nothing. Leo makes everything look nice. That's his talent." The handmade cards sat untouched at each plate, little paper people waiting to be held. No one signed theirs. No one even moved them. I didn't cry. I stacked plates, zipped the tote, and packed up leftovers no one thanked me for. Jamie fell asleep on the drive home, fist closed around one fork like a medal he had earned. At bedtime he asked, "Am I still fork manager tomorrow?" "Absolutely," I said. He nodded, satisfied, and was out in seconds. I stood in the kitchen under the buzzing light, phone in my hand, thinking about 4 perfect adults in a perfect square and the small elbow erased like an error. I opened a folder on my laptop labeled House/Papers and another labeled Family, and another one inside that named Just in Case. I didn't cry. I did something else. Sunday morning, I rang my parents' bell with Jamie's backpack over my shoulder and a wrapped frame under my arm. Mom opened the door, saw what was inside, and dropped it. The sound of glass on tile was clean and final. The money piece always starts as "only this time." It started years ago when I was 21 and working nights at a grocery store while taking community college classes during the day. Dad's transmission died. Mom called me first. Your father is too proud to ask, she said. We need a bridge until payday. You know how it is. I had $412 in my account. I sent $250 and ate instant noodles for 2 weeks. Dad never brought it up, except once, when he said, family looks out. After college, when I got the hospital job, the asks got sleeker. Mom texted me screenshots of overdue notices with the message, what do we do? Like I was a committee. I added them to my autopays, water, internet, a cell line for Leo that became 2 lines when he lost his phone and never told the carrier. It's easier if you just handle it, Mom said. You're so good with computers. When Carla launched her boutique, she sent me a pitch deck that was just a PDF of pink fonts. I need inventory, she said. It's an investment. We're family. I covered her first order as a favor, and her second as a loan, and her third as you're the best brother. The boutique turned into an Instagram with affiliate links and a lot of mirror selfies. The debt turned into a fog that followed me around. Mom has a way of talking that sounds like love if you don't listen closely. Mark, honey, you're so responsible. You understand how to move money. Leo and Carla don't. It's not fair to expect them to. You know we'd do it for you if you needed it. I kept a spreadsheet labeled family that lived between my work budgets. Rows and dates and small notes. Leo, ticket, $180. Dad, stitches, $320. Carla, hosting fee, $29.99 monthly. Mom, security system, $45 monthly. Every time I thought I would say no, someone sent me a photo of a final notice, or Mom wrote, I hate to even ask. And I remember Dad's once upon a time, family looks out. Then Jamie was born. Everything sharpened. My ex and I didn't make it, but we co-parent. I split my life between hospital night shifts and mornings with a toddler who believed in dinosaurs the way some people believe in angels. I opened a 529 plan and a high-yield savings account labeled Jamie. I told myself I was building a fence around that money. A real fence. High. Locked. Meanwhile, small things kept happening that didn't feel small if you looked straight at them. Carla threw a birthday for her dog that cost more than Jamie's entire last year of preschool supplies. Leo forgot to Venmo me for months, then sent $20 with the note, you're a legend. Mom started forwarding emails from her HOA with subject lines like action required, and then she would call and sigh loudly until I said, fine, I'll take care of it. The first time Jamie got edited out of a family picture, I didn't notice. It was one of those selfies Mom posts on Facebook. My beautiful family. She'd put a filter on that blurred the edges, and I assumed he was just hidden behind Dad's shoulder. But then there were more. Leo posted a collage from Christmas where Jamie's face was covered by a giant snowflake sticker. Aesthetic, he said. Carla posted a story that panned across the table and paused on her nails while Jamie waved in the background, and she wrote, ignore the chaos. I tried to shrug it off. People are careless. It's not personal. Then Mom started planning photos around adult themes. She said, let's do one without kids so I can frame it nicely. She meant without my kid. Carla's friend's toddler was in 2 of those photos because she matches the palette. Meanwhile, the money asks escalated. There was the time Dad's truck needed new tires the same week daycare raised rates. Just put it on your card, Mom said. There was Carla's pop-up event that didn't pop anything and left her with a fee I paid to avoid her crying on the phone. Leo invested in crypto at the top and wanted me to lend him enough to hold through the dip that never undipped. I said no that time. He called me a buzzkill. Mom called me the next day and said Leo was in a fragile place and would I reconsider for the good of the family. The small betrayal that finally stuck in my throat was about Jamie's birthday. I bought him a Lego set he'd been pointing at from a catalog for months. A spaceship with hinges and a little green alien. I kept it at my parents' house because I wanted him to open it there with everybody cheering. A week before his party, I found the box opened in Carla's car, half the pieces in a makeup bag. Oops, she said. I needed a gift for a client's kid and didn't have time. I stared. That was for Jamie. Carla blinked at me like I was the rude one. He'll be fine. He doesn't need more plastic. You should thank me for decluttering. I took the empty box home and put it in the recycling, then dug it back out because throwing it away felt like letting the whole thing go. I sat on the floor and taped it back together, stupid, like I could rebuild the ship by fixing the box. A week later, Mom asked me to co-sign a lease for Carla's storefront. It's a great deal, she said. She just needs your name to make it official. No, I said, finally, a very quiet word. She paused like the call had dropped. Then she tried again. Mark, don't be silly. It's family. We'll all benefit. We could use a place to gather. She could sell your little tech things too. My little tech things are my rent money, I said. I'm not co-signing. She called me selfish. Then she texted me a photo of a lease page with a signature that looked a lot like mine. Drafting, she wrote. Just visualizing. I stopped sleeping well. I started checking my accounts at 2 a.m. like raccoons were in there tipping over trash cans. I checked the 529 twice a day, then 3 times. I told myself the fence was still there. I told myself I would know if anything was wrong. 2 days before the barbecue, Leo messaged the group chat. We need to talk budgets, as a family. He posted a meme with a piggy bank and thought he was charming. Carla added. Also, Mark still owes me for the pop-up table rental. I had paid. I sent the screenshot. No one responded. Then Saturday happened. The cropping wasn't an accident. It was a decision. A clean edge, a tidy square. It said out loud what I'd been refusing to hear. They like the parts of me that pay for things. The rest is clutter to be removed. That night, after Jamie asked if he was bad, I sat at my table with my laptop and opened the just-in-case folder. It held screenshots, emails, Venmo histories, text threads, scanned receipts. Every yes with a timestamp. Every just this time with a dollar amount. I added the new photos to the folder. I opened a blank document and typed 3 lines. I'm done. Here's why. Here's what changes now. I slept like a rock for the first time in months. Sunday morning, I dressed Jamie in his shark shirt. He packed his backpack with fork manager tools, a plastic fork, a napkin, 2 stickers. We drove to my parents' house with a framed thing wrapped in brown paper and painter's tape. Mom opened the door in slippers. You didn't say you were coming by. I brought something, I said. We walked to the kitchen. I set the frame on the table and peeled the tape. It was a collage I made at 1 a.m. The 3 barbecue photos side by side. The empty space where Jamie had been circled in red, the tiny elbow like a watermark. Underneath, I printed the words, big and plain, "This is what you did." Mom saw it for a full second. Her hands opened. The frame hit the tile, and the glass cracked like ice. She stepped back. What is wrong with you? What's wrong? I said evenly. Is you erased my kid. Leo wandered in, rubbing his eyes. Dude, you're so dramatic. Carla appeared behind him like a perfume commercial. Oh my God, is that the picture? Are you serious? Jamie stood behind my leg, peeking. I set my phone on the table and opened the family group chat. I'm going to say this once, I said. I'm done. Here's why. Here's what changes now. Mom crossed her arms. Don't threaten your family in my kitchen. I'm not threatening. I'm informing. I tapped the first screenshot, the Lego set receipt. Then the photo of Carla's car with the opened box. You stole my son's birthday present, I said to Carla. Carla rolled her eyes. It was a misunderstanding. Next, I said. Hospital pay stubs next to transfers labeled Mom, water bill, Dad, tires, Leo, phone line, Carla, inventory. A spreadsheet page with totals that made Leo whistle. Where did you get that? Mom asked, voice thin. From my account. From my life. I turned to Dad. You asked me to be the adult. I did it. And while I did it, all of you treated my kid like a smudge to crop out. Leo shrugged. The photos looked better centered. I felt the calm you get when you finally name something true. Here's what changes, I said. I have removed your lines from my phone plan. It shuts off at midnight. I canceled the auto pay for your HOA and internet. The next bills are yours. Carla, I will not co-sign anything for you, ever. If my name shows up on a lease, I will report fraud immediately. Leo, I am not lending you money for crypto, Vegas, sneakers, or anything else. Mom and Dad, I love you, but I will not be your backup wallet. If you need help, you can ask once, and I will decide based on what Jamie needs first. Mom's face hardened. You're abandoning your family. I'm protecting my son. I pointed to the cracked frame with the red circles. You made it clear how you see him. Carla snorted. So what? You're going to invoice us? No, I said. I'm going to stop. And I'm going to document. I opened one more screenshot. The lease page Mom had texted with a signature that looked like mine. Don't do this again, I said quietly. I'm not playing. Dad finally spoke. Son, it's not that serious. It is exactly that serious. I looked at Jamie. He was studying me like a map. We're leaving, I said. Jamie, say bye. Jamie waved. Bye, Grandma. Bye, Grandpa. He looked at the broken glass. Be careful, he added, because that's the kind of kid he is. We walked out to the car. My hands were steady on the wheel. My phone buzzed with the first volley of texts before I even turned the key. I drove away anyway. The group chat caught fire in minutes. Mom, you humiliated me in my own home. Carla, you owe me for the frame. Leo, 15 laughing emojis. Then good luck when karma hits. Dad, radio silence, which is his way of letting Mom do the voice for both of them. I muted the thread. I made pancakes with Jamie. He put a sticker on my forehead that said helper and said, that means you're promoted. At noon, my phone lit with unknown numbers. Carla on a friend's phone because I'd already removed her from the plan. Then Mom from the house phone. Then Leo from a blocked caller ID because he thinks that makes him scarier. I let it all go to voicemail. I spent that afternoon changing things. I pulled up the cell plan and hit remove line twice. I canceled auto pays. I changed my Venmo privacy to friends only. I set up a new checking account that only I could see, labeled house/Jamie. I printed out a small stack of bank statements and put them in a folder labeled boundaries like I was my own HR department. Around 3, Mom emailed me like we lived in an office. Subject, really? Body, you're overreacting. The pictures were an artistic choice. We don't need your judgment. We just need your support. I replied, I will support you in ways that do not hurt my son or my finances. That means no more auto pays, no co-signing, no loans. We can have dinner next week if you can be kind to Jamie. If you can't, we won't come. 10 minutes later, Carla texted from a different number. So you're seriously sticking us with the bills? Your bills, I wrote back. Not mine. Leo called again, then left a voice memo full of sarcasm. Congrats on being a martyr. When you need us, don't call. I walked to the park with Jamie. We found a bench in the shade. He asked me if he could be fork manager at every meal. I said yes. He asked if Grandma was mad at the picture. I said Grandma dropped it because her hands were surprised. He seemed satisfied. He watched a squirrel for a long time like it was a rare event. That night, I slept without waking. Number 2 Yem account checks. No raccoons. Monday morning, Leo discovered his phone didn't work. He sent a furious DM on Instagram. You made me look stupid. I didn't respond. Carla posted a story. A close-up of a bill with the caption, some people love to watch women struggle. I laughed out loud for the first time in days. Dad finally called. Your mother's upset, he said. I'm sure, I said. I am too. You could have handled it privately. I sent an email, I said. With boundaries. He sighed like I was the difficult one. We raised you to be generous. You raised me to be useful, I said. I'm raising my son to be visible. Silence crackled. We'll talk later, he said, which means he hoped I would get tired and come back to the old way. Instead, I got practical. I made a budget that had 3 bold lines. Rent, food, Jamie. Everything else had to explain itself to me like a person asking for a favor. I made a rule. No money leaves my accounts the same day someone asks. I called my bank and added an alert for any new attempt to put my name on a contract. I set up a safe deposit box for vital papers because I realized I didn't know where Jamie's birth certificate was at my parents' house, and that felt like a small emergency. At work, I told my manager I wouldn't be answering family calls during my shift anymore. She nodded like she had been waiting for me to get to that sentence. Small good things started happening as soon as the noise dropped. My neighbor, Mrs. Patel, who always waves from her porch, asked if Jamie liked kites. We spent a windy afternoon learning how to keep a dragon in the sky. Jamie belly laughed until he hiccuped. I took a picture of him holding the string, cheeks pink, and I didn't crop anything. Midweek, Mom tried a new tactic. She called to clear the air. Mark, honey, you're taking this too far, she said in her reasonable voice. We're family. You can't put money above people. I'm putting my child above your comfort, I said. She tooted. You always exaggerate. I brought you a picture you couldn't look at without dropping it, I said. That was the truth. You didn't like it. Leo says you're threatening legal action against your own mother, she said, like saying the worst thing would make it untrue. If my name shows up on a lease I didn't sign, yes, I said, because I am done being the emergency exit for everyone else's fires. She huffed. So you're just going to abandon us? I'm going to love you from a distance you can't spend. She hung up. 5 minutes later, Dad texted a thumbs-up emoji like he had done his part. That weekend, Carla posted a GoFundMe for her small woman-owned business under attack. The goal was ridiculous. The description was a lie. She cropped me out of the family in words this time. I didn't engage. I spent Saturday at the library with Jamie. We picked out a cookbook with pictures and made scrambled eggs that looked like a cloud failed and fell apart. Jamie declared them epic. I took another picture. No cropping. The fallout in the family system was immediate and predictable. Without me as the quiet auto pay, fights started about who had used more. Carla accused Leo of freeloading. Leo accused Carla of taking advantage of Mom's soft heart. Mom told Dad he needed to be a father, and Dad pretended his hearing aid wasn't on. My aunt called to tell me Mom had cried to her on the phone about the ungrateful son. My aunt also said, in a whisper, "Good for you." 2 weeks in, I got a small message that felt like a big shift. My cousin Mia texted, "I saw what you did. I just told my mom I'm not co-signing their timeshare anymore. Wish me luck." Luck, I wrote back. And boundaries. At the end of the month, I opened the 529 and the savings account. Untouched. The fence held. I took Jamie for ice cream to celebrate a line on a screen. He picked rainbow sprinkles and asked me if fences can be invisible. "The best ones are," I said. On a quiet Sunday, Jamie asked if Grandma and Grandpa would come to his school play. I told him yes, if they're kind. He nodded. "We can put them in the back," he said, very seriously, "so they don't drop anything." We laughed together. The kind of laugh that feels like a window opening. A month after the barbecue, I printed one photo and put it on our fridge. Me and Jamie at the kite field, hair messy, string tangled around my wrist, both of us grinning crooked. No filters. No trimming. The sky takes up too much space. So do we. That's the point. Mom still sends messages that have the shape of apologies and the content of requests. I answer when I have energy. I keep it simple. "We can come for dinner if you won't make comments about Jamie." "No, I won't move your bill into my account." "Please don't add my name to anything." I won't ignore it. Carla and Leo still try out lines like new shoes. "You've changed. Money made you cold. Wait till you need us." I don't argue. I don't send screenshots anymore. I already said what I needed to say. Now I just live like I meant it. Here is what I know. I am a father first. I am not a wallet. I am not a phone plan. I am not a co-signer for dreams written in glitter fonts. I'm a man with a small boy who thinks forks are microphones and who deserves to see himself in every picture he stands for. When I think about that cracked frame on Mom's kitchen tile, I don't feel triumph. I feel clarity. I didn't break the glass. I held it up. The truth did the rest. Jamie still asks to be fork manager. He takes his job seriously. He sets the table and counts softly and beams when I say good work. Sometimes he asks, "Was I bad?" And I say, "You were perfect. They just forgot how to see." He nods and goes back to being 5, which is what he should be allowed to be. The moral is not complicated. Boundaries are not cruelty. Saying no to being used is saying yes to the person who depends on you most. I thought love meant paying every bill I could reach. It turns out love meant buying a frame, printing the truth, and backing away from a fire I didn't start. I don't crop anything anymore. Photos, memories, or myself. I keep the whole picture. I put my son in the center. And I let the rest, finally, be outside the frame.